What's up, Dokos? This is Trent, aka TradeMark here, and I picked up Black Ops 2 on PC during the Steam summer sale for 50% off, and I've been playing Black Ops 2 on the PC for the past few days, and it has been quite the experience. Now, the reason that I'm playing on the PC is basically to practice, because I'm planning on playing Call of Duty Ghosts on the PC. Now, my reasoning for that is that, first of all, I don't really want to spend $400 or $500 on a next-gen console right out of the gate. There hasn't been anything super groundbreaking for me with the next-gen consoles that just makes me want to go out and buy one day one. And then the last reason is that a lot of times when next-gen consoles come out, they have built-in flaws, built-in issues that aren't really revealed until a lot of the mass public gets their hands on them. Like, for example, the Xbox 360 had the red ring of death, and that was a super prominent issue for years after the console came out. And it wasn't until years after the Xbox 360 came out that they developed the new firmware, the new hardware. I think it had to do something with it had to do with overheating and one of the solders or something melting when it overheated. But anyways, the point is they fixed it. And then from then on, you shouldn't have had those issues once they had fixed it. So that's one thing that I also want to avoid as well, is I don't want to buy a next-gen console and then end up dealing with a bunch of issues right out the gate. I would rather wait for the first or second revisions to come out, and I'm sure I will buy a next-gen console eventually, but it probably won't be, until a year or so after they launch. Yeah. But back to the PC. So I wanted to talk about my experience from PC to console and the differences that Call of Duty has between platforms. The first thing that I noticed, the first major difference I noticed when I loaded up Black Ops 2 on PC was the graphics. Okay, I'm running at the same resolution, 1920 by 1080. I'm running at 60 frames per second and all ultra high settings. My PC is pretty high end. It's my graphics card is a GTX 670 for the win. I have an Intel i7 3770K processor, solid state drive, plenty of RAM. It's a fast gaming PC. It's not like tip top, but it is definitely high end. And the graphics were just amazing, and the consistency, it ran at 60 frames per second flawlessly the entire time. And I capped it at 60. I'm sure it could run higher than that, but because I don't have a 120 hertz or a refresh rate monitor, there's no reason for me to really go up above 60 frames, because the screen can't even refresh more than that many times per second. But eventually I will buy a 120 hertz monitor, and maybe I'll test that out with a higher frame rate then. But going back to the graphics thing, 60 frames per second ran great. And consoles, technically, they say they run COD at 60 frames per second, but that's not even true, because the hardware can't run a consistent 60 frames per second in Call of Duty. It runs more around 40 to 50 frames per second. And someone did a whole bunch of tests on this. But consoles don't even run at 60 frames per second, even though they always talk about that. And Activision is famous for toting, we run at 60 frames per second. It doesn't really. It runs more around 40 to 50, and so it's variable. It's not consistent there. But yeah, next-gen consoles, the good thing about all this is that it was a beautiful game. It really was. On PC, it is incredible looking with all high settings, and it's not like Crysis 3 or anything. It's not like just blow you out of the water visuals, but it is nice. It's very good looking, and that's one thing to look forward for next gen consoles, is that they're going to be able to bring you a visual experience that you haven't had before. So that was the first thing I noticed that was very different, was the graphics. The second thing that I noticed that was quite different on PC was the player base. There is just no players online. Like, in any game type, the most players that I saw was 1,500 players total in one game type. Like, some game types are empty. They don't even have players, and League Play doesn't even have players. I was playing with TBNR Frags, Preston. I was playing a few games of League Play with him, and there was no one. Like he said, there was 28 people, and that was a record for League Play. There aren't players out there there's not enough players on the PC. And so that was a huge difference. And then the third difference that I noticed was once I got into the game, aside from learning all the key bindings on the mouse and keyboard, learning kind of how to play, there's also no aim assist on PC. So that was a huge transition for me. I never understood how much aim assist actually helps you on console until I played without it. And there are a few console players who play without aim assist on, which is just crazy to me because like I realized how poor my aim was once I had turned off aim assist, and you know that it plays such a huge factor in it that I never even realized until I played without it. And then finally, the last thing that I noticed that was a big change was just the game mechanics. The way that the game plays on a PC. A lot of that is due to playing with the mouse and keyboard, but also there's other things like on PC you can have a higher field of vision, so you can up your field of vision to 90 degrees, where in consoles you can only have a 65 degree field of vision. What that means is you can just see more to your left and right. You can see more, there's more real estate on your screen. And essentially it allows you to see more of what's going on around you. So that's a big difference. Hipfire, my boy Jive Turkey's always complaining about hipfire on PC, and I think this has to do with, first of all, because there's no aim assist. There's a bigger incentive to hipfire because, okay, let's say that you aim down sights and there's no aim assist. You're either going to hit or you miss. Now with hip firing, you just kind of have to get it in the general area, and some of your bullets are going to hit and some are going to miss. So it actually having it so that your bullets don't all hit exactly where you're aiming, it's kind of beneficial when there's no aim assist. So you see a lot of people hip firing, and you see a lot of people running like laser sights on shotguns and SMGs. And I already did that on console, but it's even to a greater extent of benefit on PC. Like, so many people run just that, and in fact, even I did. I'm not going to deny that. Like that's how I had to, in order to do really well, I had to change up how I was playing. So it's just like the game mechanics change when you're on a PC. But overall, I do think this is going to benefit me because one thing that I mentioned back in my previous video about Call of Duty skill is that I had heavily relied on my physical ability, my reflexes, and my aiming on console. And now that I've transitioned to PC and my aiming is just terrible, and I'm getting worked by these people, I've actually had to rely on my map knowledge and my map awareness, my game knowledge, and just my decision making and becoming a smarter player. And what I've done is, since I was talking to Preston and talked to him about his sensitivity, and he was playing on such a lower sensitivity that I literally halved my sensitivity, and it took a while getting used to it, but it's made me a more accurate shot. And so I think I'm going to, when I go back to console, I'm going to take off aim assist for a while and lower my sensitivity and just try and become a better aim on console as well. And my thought process is that hopefully after everything's said and done, that I'll be both the smarter and a better aim, just a better player overall on both PC and on consoles. But that's it for me. In the gameplay, you see in the background, I almost get my first nuclear on PC. I was like 26 kills, 4 away from the nuclear, and time ran out. I thought we had a minute left, because we do, but we reached the score cap, and it was just me being non-attentive. I wasn't paying attention, and the game ended. But that's too bad. I'm sure I'll get a nuclear soon here. And yeah, so I've been practicing on PC. Feel free to add me on Steam if you want to play. I think my Steam name's TradeMark, and just let me know you're a subscriber, and I will play. I've already played with a few subscribers that follow me on Twitter. And yeah, anyways, guys, that's it for me. A little Alpito. Thanks for watching, and I'm out of here.